So we are here in Istanbul for World Routes Festival, and I'm joined here by Tatamo Rakotozafy, who is Head of Aviation Activities at Ravinala Airports Madagascar. Tatamo, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for this interview.
So first question for you is, how is business and how has your recovery been?
Actually, we are pretty happy and satisfied with the current recovery. We only opened the borders last year, so it was much more late than the other destinations. But what we observe is that the traffic is bouncing very well, especially for the international and regional segments, which are our focus currently. So we've observed as well that our source markets have been very resilient, mainly from France and Europe. So today our main operators and airlines are now recovered more than 100% of their traffic in 2019.
That's fantastic news. And are there any travel trends that you're observing with your passengers that you are really paying attention to?
Actually, yes, because we have our source market, which is France and Germany mainly, but now we observe as well the emerging markets from Eastern Europe. So it was not a focus in 2019, but it started especially to our later destination, which is Nosy. So this year we've launched 2 routes from Eastern Europe, from Czech Republic and from Poland, and we are very proud about that because it wasn't a source market, but now it's a growing one. So we can see that the efforts that we put in the promotion with the partnership with our tourism board has paid now. So yes.
And what are your challenges for this year?
So the main challenge for an island like Madagascar is first the bilaterals. As we are located in the African regions, we are not very connected either to African regions and either to long-haul destinations. So when you want to start with, for example, the bilaterals are never put in place. So now it's a challenge that we are trying to resolve with our governments and civil aviation. So the bilaterals first, and also the infrastructures in terms of ports, for example. We've seen a very high growth of brands coming to Madagascar during the last years. So it's still a challenge because the traffic is growing very fast in some regions like Nosy, where we are operating. So it's still a challenge that we have to manage to work with other stakeholders. It's not in our control, but we have to improve that challenge as well.
And what exciting developments at your airport are you most looking forward to?
So for the next years, first of all, to grow on Europe. So it's our main challenge. It's a very big market for us, but not enough coverage so far. We also face some issues with our national carrier. So we have to see how we can work with them to help and also to secure them and to make them grow, because I think that there is no growth with the international carrier, which is there dying. So we have to deal with that as well. And also the cargo development, which is one of our focus, because we are going to build a new cargo terminal for the next coming years. So we are now going to start as well to make good development for cargo.
And what has been the story with cargo then? Have you seen it explode like during the pandemic?
Yeah, so Madagascar is an island which has a lot of resources. So we have mine products, textile, foods, seafoods, also essentials, oil, vanilla, and spices. It's a huge potential, but we don't have the infrastructure for it. And during the pandemic, actually, it grew very much. And we are now more than confident that it's a market that we have to fill now. There's no hub cargo in Madagascar. We have the privilege to have most of the cargo going across the country. So I think that is a good opportunity to grow as well.
And in terms of your route development ambitions, what would you say they are? I mean, you mentioned Europe, but are there any others?
Actually, I am basically one of the, let's say, rare route developers in Madagascar. I think there are only 2 persons doing that job in the country. So it's a big challenge. We are few persons and we are managing the 2 biggest airports as well. So I think that's a country challenge even than only airport challenge. And my vision, as I always say, is to connect better our airports to other regions, to connect Malagasy people and to connect also to the world. And also we have that vision to be an airport reference by 2025 in the Indian Ocean region.
And how are you ensuring sustainable growth?
I think that sustainable growth is based on partnerships and strong partnerships with airlines, but also with tourism board, with civil aviation, with the government authorities. And it's a model that has been proved its efficiency since the last years with us. We've already done that, and we saw that now to have a common strategy for all the stakeholders involved in the aviation industry works very much, instead of having everyone is having this strategy, and we have the same objective at the end of the day. We have the same objective, so that's why we could find that partnerships was the best way to improve the connectivity in Madagascar.
And what's on your to-do list for next year?
So, so having Rise Star Wars was we can tick on it now. So I think that the first of all is to achieve that objective to be an airport reference in service development in the Indian Ocean region. Second is to have those couples that we wanted badly to get now, so connectivity to Europe and also Middle East carrier. We want also to connect better in Africa. So these are the top challenges that we are going to maybe to achieve in the next years.
Tatamo, that was my final question. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for the pleasure.